Did the song already play?
Yes, the song already played.
Oh, I can't hear it, so...
You don't have headphones.
No,
I do.
These things.
I don't know why I'm wearing them. I turned off the monitors.
Well, you took them off. You are so cavalier.
Rebellious.
So, welcome to He Said, She Said podcast, a relationship podcast.
I'm the man.
that.
So, very quick round. What's the word?
Recap?
Explanation of what we do and why. Here, hang on. Forgive this sound. I gotta adjust the microphone.
Well, I'm Sarah.
I'm Luke. We're a married couple.
We've been married for 7 years. We like to pretend we know what we're doing. I like that as like our little tagline.
We've just been through so much BS here and there. Bullshit for the layman. That we thought we would share some knowledge and hopefully somebody can get a little something out of it and make some, get some joy out of our misery and experience and happy times. So we get on here to tell our stories, talk about our week because we're that important.
Right.
And,
I mean, it's really just something to do besides sit on our butts and watch TV.
And it makes us
after bedtime
sit down and talk to each other about more than just, have we caught up on Mindy?
Right, which I think there might be new episodes soon.
I know they finished filming, and they did the last day of filming on Last Man on Earth too. So I'm so excited to come back.
Ooh, yeah, I love that show. Okay, anyway,
find out what happened to Gail?
So,
also we also welcome listener questions. We came out of the gate with 2. And this week we had none.
Which is okay. That's all right.
It's not okay. It's not okay at all.
I think it's okay. I don't want to pressure anyone.
I do. I'll pressure you.
Well, if you are so inclined.
Come on, baby. Everybody's asking us questions. Oh, the cool kids do it.
Okay. So you can find us on Instagram.
I don't appreciate how you skipped over my joke there.
It was hilarious. You can find us online.
I quit.
Instagram is He Said, She Said PC. On Facebook, where He Said, She Said podcast. Yes. And email us at he said, she said PC at gmail.com.
And we will offer you the most professional of advice. And if you listen to the last episode, we might even grumpily answer it and probably insult you.
Right. Yeah. If you're still with us from last week, thanks for tuning in again. Because last week we recorded on Sunday instead of Friday like we should have. As Friday, we have discovered, is our peak mood of the week.
It's that whole thing of the closer you go to Sunday, the pissier you get.
Yeah. And I was tired and he was tired. It
wasn't a good idea.
Anyway, moving on.
So if you're still with us, thanks.
If you're joining us for the first time, listen to episode 1 because it's pretty good. I think it's solid.
Episode 2, I mean, skip it.
Save it for a rainy day.
And maybe one day we'll have premium content and air our pilot episode.
Our never before seen.
Ooh.
I mean, heard. It was so bad.
It wasn't that bad.
It was very long. We rambled.
We rambled. We didn't have a good
If
outline.
you want a very, very detailed account of our early years.
Nope.
Of our early years, don't listen to it because we didn't put it up. But maybe someday we will. So.
For $100.
No. No one's going to pay to hear us talk about
our week started out bad. We were in a bad mood on Sunday. And it wasn't bad. It was just like, Sunday, gotta work tomorrow.
It was a learning week. We learned things this week.
So we were in bad moods and it just carried on throughout the week, which actually, like work-wise, I had a pretty good week. I was very, very busy and it made my week just fly by.
I was too.
It was a frustrating amount of busyness. It's that whole thing where, like, the week before, I was, like, scrounging to find work to do.
Nothing.
And I made it work, found things to do, kept busy. And then this week, all of the work came.
Everything.
Yeah. So, but my week went extremely fast. And then halfway through the week, after I thought I had all the work corralled and I had everything planned and prioritized, the CEO of our company says, here, I have a priority job. This comes before everything else, even that other stuff that someone already told you was priority. And I'm like, this is CEO. I got to do it.
Right.
Sounds like,
he trumps everything.
And I knocked it out of the park. And it was a fun project, and I'm happy to make people happy. And it honestly made my week go so fast, even though in the moment I was frustrated, but I think I felt better yesterday.
I think so.
So that being said, our frustrations kind of came to a head, and we had our triannual fight of the year.
I mean, we like to keep it real, so we're going to share from our real life experience this week. And we had a lengthy discussion on Wednesday. Yes, it was Wednesday night because you were very tired still. I could see it in your face when we were having this conversation.
Help that, let me go ahead and say that my hockey league has late games, and my team got boned with the most late games. And by late, I don't mean like 7:30. I mean the games start at 11:30 p.m.
It's very late.
So
for a Tuesday.
I was also very tired from that, and compound that with like other frustrations and things, and we just needed to have a talk.
Yeah, and I think that it's part of having a strong relationship or marriage that you have to know when it's time to kind of audit yourself and your other person. Because if it's not working for both people, it's not working at all. Like, it causes so much, it causes so much strife and little tiny arguments if things just get off balance. So we kind of had to self-correct. Is that what it's called?
We just had a discussion. We put shit out on the table, and arguments suck, but in the end, if it's an argument that like needs to happen, in the end you're better for it. Because, and
I mean, I don't even think honestly argument is the correct word to use for what we had. If someone we didn't know, like who didn't know us at all, observed that, it would have been a disagreement conversation.
They would have stood wide-eyed in the corner going, I gotta go.
Probably. But like, yes, we don't yell at each other. No one leaves the room.
Every now and then
anger.
we swear, though.
Well, yeah, but that's just because I'm passionate about what I speak about.
Well, and a lot of it is that whole thing of men are from Mars, women are from Venus is absolutely true. It's kind of, you got to find the middle ground of talking to each other.
It's true.
And there is sometimes where like you say something and my brain just goes like, what the fuck are you talking about?
And like, there's a learning curve in relationships on these disagreement conversations and arguments
during each argument.
Well, no, but we've really refined it.
I know.
If
but
you think
I feel
about
like our arguments start with like the airing of grievances. I got a lot of problems with you people. That's what I say to her first.
No,
I call her you people. And then sometimes I'll just get quiet for like 10 minutes because I got to gather my thoughts, and then we'll say things. And then we'll be quiet for a little bit longer and calm down. And then we start the process of like, all right.
What can we do?
We're pissed off. Solutions.
Right. Because,
and sometimes our solutions are like, I don't want to do that.
Right.
But then we find middle ground and compromise.
Right. Right. And I mean, we're really better for it. Marriage is hard work. Like, it really is. You have to.
Maybe for you. See how I set you up there?
Nice. I mean, both people need to be heard and accountable. Like, sometimes one person thinks everything's fine and the other person is really unhappy. Sometimes both people are quietly unhappy, but they don't want to bring it up as to not to upset the other one because they haven't quite caught on that the other one is just as unhappy as the first one. Sometimes it's a hot mess and everyone needs to have a drink.
Indeed. And we did.
We did.
At the end of the whole thing, I said, I want to have a beer. And then we had a beer, and did we watch a show?
I think so.
I think we watched
The Pope. No, that was
the next day. We'll save that for the end.
Oh, yeah, it's on the list. We did. We started that Pope show that night. No, we didn't because you were so sleepy. I don't remember.
I don't know, but then I had a beer. And we just kind of chilled out and like relaxed and.
Yeah, I don't think you may have watched something, because it doesn't matter.
I probably watched Game of Thrones because I'm rewatching it because I'm reading the books.
I'm a little sleepy tonight, so if I get really spacey and like, what? That would be why.
And I actually have energy today.
I had an early morning workout, and that was a good thing. I really enjoyed it, but it catches up with me eventually. So anyway, part of what fed this coming to
Argument.
Yes.
Our,
I don't like to call it that because
I know,
we don't really argue.
it's like a layman's term thing.
Right.
Our disagreement
Right.
conversation, our uncomfortable discussion.
Something we discovered during it was that we're both a little unhappy due to things that have nothing to do with our marriage, actually, and everything to do with what's just going on in the world around us. And that made me realize that I could probably lay off the social media a little bit since I work from home full time.
And I just need to get over the fact that One Direction's never coming back.
It's so upsetting.
You know, I think I'm ready to accept it. I couldn't name you a single One Direction song.
If I thought hard enough,
There's
could.
it's probably in one of the Weird Al polkas.
I could sing you my favorite one, but you don't want me to.
It's
Anyway,
copyright infringement.
what? Right, that's it. Not they wouldn't be able to recognize it if I was singing it.
Anyway,
So I'm kind of taking a break. Not a break. I'm not taking a break because I can't. Because for my work, I have to be able to get to my personal Facebook to get to my business Facebook because I am a manager on that page. So I literally cannot like disconnect from my Facebook right now, but I can at least take a little step back and not. I was on there too much. Bottom line. So I moved my apps around on my phone, as simple as moving them from the first page of apps to like the third. And just that one little thing, I'm not constantly going to it.
if you're not making Facebook top of mind on your phone, make it so you have to work to get to it.
Exactly.
Humans are surprisingly lazy and pattern-riddled people.
Our brains, they make those neural pathways and then
So
they
if you
just want to
scooch
stay
it
in
to the
them.
last page, then there you go.
Right.
I'm not on it terribly much. It's like at work, there's sometimes where like we're doing a job and we're waiting for something to print that takes a while, or there's another job that goes through and it's going to be like 2 minutes or whatever. I'll take that instance to like pop on, and honestly, I'm just going to act the notifications, see like, okay, did our pages get any likes? Is there any comments on any of our podcast pages? But I've worked really hard to stay away from current events kind of stuff, because like as much as we are very aware, we do want to kind of keep it neutral on the podcast, but people who know us probably know our opinions, and we'll try to keep them to ourselves. But on top of that, like, people are just so harsh to each other, and I get sucked down the comment rabbit hole.
And I don't even want to comment. I just read them. You know? Just and it's like, I'm not surprised, but I'm surprised at the same time. It's like a train wreck. I think it's like you can't look away.
And I've caught myself a couple times just, I'll read like the first paragraph of the article and just get the gist. And then I'll go directly to the comments because I'm like, oh, I bet these are good. And then you just read people just being so nasty to each other. And then there's that one person who's like makes a good point and is trying to be peaceful and whatever. And they just get hammered.
Right.
And it's like, man, right there's the problem with our country. Like this division and this, the whole anonymity of like, well, I live 3 states away. I can say whatever I want on Facebook. But like that whole thing is, I don't know. If we can all just join hands and...
Well, I think I have to share exactly what my notes say about it because I found it pretty funny. It says, world is on fire. Less social media, good thing.
Me agree.
I thought that was pretty funny.
I think I'm going to go back to MySpace. There's like nobody there.
You know what's funny is, I know you got rid of yours. I don't think I ever deleted mine.
You did.
Did I?
I think you did.
The log, I couldn't get into it for the longest time.
You have to send a picture of yourself.
Oh, I did when we lived
think-
in town before.
I think it was our other apartment. But
Yeah.
You did it about the same time I did. But I was just never on it, and I don't like having a profile out there I don't use.
Right. Like
I was trying to remember a
LinkedIn.
bunch of other stuff.
I logged into my LinkedIn. I had a happy anniversary message from the like vice president of business of my company.
Oh, very nice.
Do you remember when my anniversary was? August. I was like,
I thought you were going to say, like, I've had
man.
3 anniversary notifications.
No, like they do it once a year on the anniversary month of when you started your current job. They like send you, oh, you've been at your position for this many years.
I always get on it to see the, like, this person looked at your profile, and I'm just like, get off there, you creep. There's
I've been
nothing here
getting,
for you.
I got another message from a recruiter about a recruiting job, since that's what I do. But it's funny, I actually had a phone interview with this company last year, and they never followed up. But then it was a different recruiter.
Wasn't that the one that took...
It was
That, like,
high
it was-
power and
What it was that
kind of
whole
like a
thing that-
cult.
Yeah, like it's one of those ones that like sounds real aggressive when you read it and great, but then you take the interview and you're like,
They wanted me to work like 7 to 6, 5 days a week, and one or 2 Saturdays a month.
I don't do weekends.
And I'm like, and they have a gym on site, and I'm like, that sounds like a perk, but it also sounds like it's for people who don't have families. And I have a
Yes.
family, so not going to work. Anyway,
I also have a family.
you have a secret family you don't tell me about?
Yeah, why do you think I'm all pissy all the time? Goddamn family. You don't know which one.
You know what's kind of funny?
What is kind of funny?
My dad had kind of a unique pickup truck when I was in high school. It was a maroon 2-tone color with a cap on the back, extended cab. It's the truck I learned to drive in. Anyway, it was not very common, this color combination. And I lived in a, I don't know, moderately large city. Not a big city by any means. That's
It's a
suburban.
medium-sized city.
Yeah.
Probably a couple 100,000 people. Not
Like
that?
when I was in high school, it was like 65 probably.
Oh, I thought they were like 2.
No.
Oh.
No. But anyway, there was another house across town. They had this exact same pickup truck, and we always joked that it was his secret family because it was like a weird color. It wasn't like red. Anyway,
Swell story.
it was
dear.
so good. We could probably cut that out. That was really
No,
boring.
we're going to leave it. So you know what you did. So, moving on.
Okay.
That was our week.
That was our
so
week.
we'd like to start with kind of like,
I think we're better people
Yeah.
now than we were on Sunday.
and we've had a good past couple of days. It's just accountability is the main thing.
is.
It's like realizing like, okay, if you're in a pissy mood, it's not fair to like turn someone else into a pissy mood to like, what's that thing I always forget? Misery loves company. I think we suffer from that a little.
We
too much.
get into like a cycle of it with each other.
Right.
Like one of us like starts it, and then it just like we pass
Yeah.
it back and forth.
So we've been past couple of days just being better about being more attentive and trying to like, okay, we're not at work anymore. Here's blah blah blah. And
I also, something I've been trying to kind of make my like weekly intention.
drink more.
No,
That's my intention.
just be present. Like, I have a really bad habit of always thinking ahead. Like, I'm always thinking 5 steps ahead or 5 hours ahead or 5 minutes ahead. Like, I'm never worrying about like what's happening right now.
That's a good point.
So I've been trying to be more present, and
I've been trying to be a present
you know,
and a gift of joy to all.
I have a funny being present story.
Skipped right over my joke again.
Well, I'm looking at my notes and talking at the same time. It's hard. I'm sleepy.
Okay, go on.
I was trying to be more present last night as Sydney was finishing her dinner. Sydney's our 1-year-old. And well, she's actually like 16 months now.
She's 1. Soon she'll be 1.5.
Right. But
And
just to
then she'll
give
be 2.
people who care, like who's no one, a better idea of exactly how old. Because developmentally, 12 months and 16 months is actually really different if you want to split hairs.
Blah blah blah.
But anyway, so she hadn't pooped yesterday. So I'm like, we're going to have some prunes because, you know, that works like a charm every time. So I got out the little baby food prunes, and she's been kind of obsessed with trying to feed herself lately. So I'm like, okay, usually if I hold the bowl in place, she'll spoon a couple bites into her mouth, and that's that. Oh, last night she wasn't having that. She got a hold of the container, and I took her pajamas off that she was already in, and just let her go to town.
It was pretty funny.
It was hilarious. It was everywhere. She looked like a little cannibal. If it
It
was
looked like she murdered Grimace.
That wasn't that funny, but I thought it was pretty funny.
Grimace
But yeah,
from McDonald's.
I almost was late to pick up our grocery order because I was so in the moment and being present that I was just like cracking up and taking videos of her eating these prunes and like dumping them everywhere. It was in her hair. It was hilariously messy. And and then I had to give her a bath, of course.
It worked out.
So I mean, I wasn't
There was
late.
this funny thing like, okay, we need to do a little team effort. I don't know how slippery prunes make someone.
Right. She was more. It was sticky, and she didn't get that much on her torso. I was
okay
kind of
to be
surprised. I'm having my picture taken right now, and I can't talk at the same time. I feel like I'm making a really creepy face.
To be more candid.
Okay, so I have to keep looking at my notes because it's a notes kind of night. So I didn't have a.
You don't have to stop and smile.
I
every
can't.
picture. It's called candid.
I don't like candid. I make weird faces where I look like I'm going, duh. Like, what? I didn't have a thing I thought I'd never say this week, but that was my mama story. And besides that, the 10-year-old's report card came home yesterday, and she is doing phenomenal.
I'm so proud of her.
She's doing so well.
I know this is one of those moments of like, we're going to talk about our kids.
And it's probably going to bore you guys.
You don't need to care about it.
You can fast forward. I don't care.
But I will say, like 2 years ago, her levels were below her grade. And I was extremely
in everything.
Like everything. I won't say like how below, but it was worrisome. And she is either at or above all of her stuff now. And I'm so happy about that.
Here's a little, what do they say? A nickel's worth of free advice.
Sure.
In most states, there's no law that says you have to send your child to kindergarten. If it ever crosses your mind, maybe they don't need to go to kindergarten. We can send them to kindergarten.
It was, I think there's a lot of, since she didn't go to kindergarten,
she missed a lot.
And it's like even small things.
It's not even like
that you don't even think about.
Academia. It's like life things.
Being able to read an analog clock. They pretty much just do that in kindergarten. Mm-hmm. And
months of the year.
Right. Just stuff like that. And just there's little day-to-day things that you don't even think about that we just think are so trivial. And then you go into first grade and it's like math, spelling. Mm-hmm. So there's little things like that. So, but like we've seen so much progress in the past couple of years, and this past year especially, progress has been like bong, like big.
I mean, our school district is excellent, and the intervention specialist she's working with this year is amazing. She's a lot younger than the one she was working with last year, and I think that might have a little bit to do with it. Just like a fresher approach, maybe.
I don't think one's better than the other.
No.
I think it's just like the new.
And just she's really doing well. She's doing a lot better this year.
She's doing fantastic. I actually forgot today I was going to send a message to all of her teachers to tell her like her grade card was phenomenal. We're absolutely thrilled. We got her other report. It's like some different criteria.
Yeah, her IEP.
IEP. I always want to call it something else.
Individualized education plan.
We received that, and it was great. So I need to send all her teachers a message just to say, like, she's doing
Did you see
fantastic.
her reading level is up to a 6th grade reading level?
Well, that's because we're forcing her to read the Harry Potters.
We make her read so much. I'm going to turn her into a little Harry Potter file.
I know, but we also have her read comics. And,
we do.
like,
and we say, like, read something. Read something. If it's a comic book, that's great.
Was her reading level on this?
6.2. It's up at the top. See the little paragraph at the top? You're looking right at it, I think.
Oh. 6.4.
6.4. Boom.
Math could be better, but still.
The math has improved.
The math.
But anyway, I wanted to.
That's our little brag.
We just needed to talk to each other and pat each other on the back about that for a little bit.
If you guys want to pat us on the back too,
I'm doing a hand motion right now.
Pat us in the form of money.
Or send us a question.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, or send us a question at he said
that don't cost a thing.
PC@gmail.com. It don't cost nothing. That's what Sarah just said. That's what I heard.
It sounded pretty bad. I mean, it costs a little bit of time, but
But your time is worth nothing.
What? I'm so confused.
I don't know.
So,
Cobra Commander came to visit.
Since we didn't have any questions, it's just, you guys are really busy. It's okay. We understand. We did, however, stumble upon a little talking point to jump
Sniffling a
into.
lot.
It's okay. Try not to sniffle into the microphone. Stop. No one wants to hear that.
I blew the air out in shame. Go on. This was a neat art. I perused the article. I didn't read the whole thing. So,
Try not to breathe into the microphone as much because we had some constructive criticism feedback from one of our listeners.
God, I could hear Sarah's breath like the whole time. It was from me.
It's mostly because it was the very first time I've done this. And the first episode is when it was commented on.
You have to learn you don't have to have your face up against it
The entire time.
Only when you talk.
Right. And okay.
You need to back off just a little bit.
I'm just doing it on purpose.
Oh.
Hi, Angie.
Get off of there. That thing's...
That was so creepy.
I know.
Anyway.
Sorry, Angie.
if she's still with us. I make it sound
She didn't die. We only got 2 questions last week and none this week, so we assume you're all dead. So...
I mean, the world is on fire.
Yeah.
Okay, so anyway, this article I found.
Keep going.
Okay.
I was trying to find a segue to go get another beer, but...
We can just take a break.
Nah, you're good.
It's okay. Go get another beer.
I have a beer now. You may continue.
Okay, super. So we came across this article entitled 8 Things That Matter Less Than You Think in a Relationship. So we're just going to move on through these and just see what we think about this.
Number 1.
Number 1, your partner fits your quote-unquote type. I did the little finger quotes as I said that. What do you think?
Well, I have 2 things to this.
Okay.
My quote-unquote type has changed over the years. So, like, the person who I would be attracted to, and we're talking physicality, right? Or...
Yeah.
I mean, well, it could be both.
Your physical type is,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So, my physical type when I was younger was probably a lot different than my physical type that I am now. So, like, your tastes change and stuff. So, like, that's one thing. But also, you are my type.
Aww.
So...
You're my type 2.
Type 2 diabetes.
No.
I don't even know. Well, yeah. I don't want to get too crude. You are my type. We'll just leave it at that.
There we go. I agree that it doesn't matter as much as some people think it does.
Oh, I'm sorry. I forgot to say the other thing. Like, say you weren't my type. Like, say I was really into redheads with 3 freckles and bony knees.
It's very specific,
Yeah.
but continue.
But say I was like, oh, but she's such a nice person. I think I want to get to know her. Like, your brain will almost rewire to be like, no, dude, this is your type now. Like, that's not what happened with us, but, like, I'm just saying, like, it can happen.
It happened with us a little bit.
What are you saying?
Well, before...
Not into dad bod?
You didn't really have that when I met you, did you? I don't remember. Look at how not shallow I was.
Yeah, all you're doing is just saying I was fat.
No, I'm not.
I'm so offended.
No, like, before I met you, I would have described my type not as you. So, no, you weren't, technically.
Let's also remember, I was, like...
And I was so
in
much
a band
younger,
and
too.
was, like, had a mohawk and was... I wouldn't say I was, like, dirty.
But, like, at the same time, I feel like I said a lot in college that I didn't have a type. I wasn't that girl. I was a very untraditional lady back then.
Anyway.
I mean, I still am.
So I think
most
we would
days.
say
It's true.
I
I
would
agree
agree
with
with that
them.
one.
Yeah, totally. And they had some good points about how a person can have a very happy relationship with someone who is fine enough looking
So
and
we
kind, and probably less than so they would be less happy with someone who is gorgeous but mean.
So, take 2 seconds and think about the one that you were with and think, were they my type when we met?
And does it even matter?
Yeah, it doesn't matter. Anyway, just the interesting thing to chew
Yeah.
on. What is the next thing?
The next thing is you share the same interests and hobbies.
I'm half and half on that one.
I think you have to have something.
Yeah.
You have to have at least one thing.
Well, if you walked around the house telling me Star Wars is stupid and comic books are dumb, I'd hand you the papers.
But that's not what this says. It's just liking things. Like you can
Yeah.
like it's not.
I got
I have
it.
you
Okay.
have you know.
It doesn't have to be, but you have to have some shared interest.
Right.
If you have none, then you have nothing in common. Like, what do you relate to? Better have some kids so we have something we both like.
And that might be
That
the
was
reason.
funnier than you reacted.
Well, it's funny, but it's probably not so funny. It might be true for some people.
I just
so.
quoted Sean.
Hi, Sean. You better make him listen to this now. It's like the third time he's been on, and he's not, or he's been
Right.
mentioned. And he doesn't even listen. You dick.
Say it like Jim Jeffries.
You dick. I can't.
Ya dick. Ya dick. Ah. That's my Jim Jeffries. Look him up if you've never heard of him. Quite funny. Funny fella. What was his show?
Legit.
Legit. Oh,
It's a good show. Netflix.
of course it got canceled.
Basically, it's not what's going to keep you together in the long run. Is
Yeah.
like those surface things.
So,
So
but it helps.
it helps, but
I
at
would
the same
give
time,
this one a...
I agree, like
half and
60%. Yeah, because think about a big thing to us is doing your own thing, and like even if you don't love a hobby or interest that your partner loves, you can at least learn to appreciate it because someone you love loves it. And if you can't, you probably shouldn't be with that person. I'm totally kidding. That's not true. That's bad advice.
What if they stopped the podcast right at that moment and were like, I'm done. And then they, like a year later, they listen to the rest of it, but they're already like pregnant with some crackhead's child. And they were like, but the podcast said to.
I really hope people don't take us that seriously. I mean, we're helpful, but we're not professionals. We should probably say that occasionally. We are not professionals.
Well, I'm a
don't
professional
sue us.
something. I'm just not a professional this. Unless
Okay.
we start making ad revenue, then technically we're professionals.
Well, we'll worry about that when it happens.
We might make $3 or $4 this year.
You never know. So the third thing is you never argue. Wait, I need to remember what this list is. Mattered less than you think. Okay,
So people who never argue think that's a good thing.
it's totally not.
Well, yeah, I totally agree with that. Because nobody's relationship is perfect. And I have a feeling if you never argue, you're either afraid to communicate or like, I don't know. I think arguments kind of breed improvement.
Right.
So if you don't argue, you're not improving. So your relationship's just plateaued to the point of boredom that you never argue or you never communicate and talk. And
I cut off. I printed this article from the internet.
yeah,
And I like cut off part of the commentary on this one, which is kind of sad because it's pretty what it's basically what you're
it
saying.
reminds me of The Matrix.
Like basically it says happy couples prioritize de-escalation and repair in their relationship. Like they want to, you have to do the maintenance is how I think about it. Like it's kind of like doing oil changes on your car. You have to do the maintenance
Yeah.
or it just stop.
With my dipstick.
You're bringing a little bit too much two dudes drinking into this episode. We're going to lose some ladies.
No, the ladies will appreciate a fellow with a sense of humor.
Okay.
Or the men. Whatever.
Okay. You tell us, listeners.
At he said she said PC at gmail.com. I almost said two dudes drinking.
Anyway.
So what I was saying earlier before I was so rudely interrupted it reminds me in The Matrix where I know this is a weird leap, but where Morpheus is telling Neo about when the robots made the first world and they made it perfect, but it like, what do you say? It made them all restless or some shit. I don't remember exactly, but that's the same with the relationship. Like, if everything's perfect and you never fight and everything's all sunshine and rainbows, like, something's wrong.
Well, and you can't appreciate the sunshine and rainbows if you don't ever have like a shit day every once in a while. That too, you know? It does, you can't.
Agreed.
You can't appreciate it as much. So
Moving
no.
on.
Agree. You have the same level of education.
Can I interrupt you 1 sec?
Sure.
Did we cite whose article this is? We should probably do that.
Like the actual website it's from?
Just the website you found it on.
HuffPost.
Oh, okay. And is there an author?
No, it's like a compilation.
Oh,
well,
okay.
there is, but I'm really bad, and I wanted to save paper, so I only printed the pages. That
It's probably just the person who curated a whole bunch
It's like a relationship writer.
Word up.
You could find it if
I'm not
I
worried
sent you
about
the
it.
link.
It's from HuffPost.com. So,
Yeah.
boom.
Okay. So the fourth one is you have the same level of education. And I agree with this because we do not have the same level of education.
I know I'm much smarter than hers.
I have a bachelor's plus 1 year of master's, 1 year of grad school that I never finished. So there's that. It was a lot of writing on the topic I didn't really care about, so it just didn't happen. But
It's also, your level of education is also relative because your level of education would not at all help my chosen field.
right, no, and it
It would help me
doesn't-
get a job,
like-
but it wouldn't help me like be better at what I do.
I mean, I agree with this, but at the same time, when I start to think about it, though,
I think at a certain point it would affect you, but I think like if somebody is just like a high school graduate who moved up the ranks at like a manufacturing job, and then their spouse is a college graduate who's like a social worker, you're not going to have any problems. Mm-hmm. If one of you is a doctor and the other one is like part-time at the local grocery store but doesn't really like it and takes too many smoke breaks, I don't know. I'm just trying to think of like a bad employee. I'm guessing your relationship's a little skewed.
Right.
So I guess if there's like a sliding scale, I agree.
I feel like this option was kind of filler because if you really know much about if you really know much about relationships, you're not going to find people with that polarized, like one person with all of this education and the other person with very little or like the minimum. You kind of meet and spend your time with more educated people when you're more educated.
Meet.
Oh, I have a text message. I wonder who it's from.
Sean?
No, it's Shelby.
Is it a question?
Hi, Shelby.
Can we
In
get
our last episode, it was interrupted multiple times from my darling husband's best friend, Sean.
who is also co-podcaster and co-host of Two Dudes Drinking, a comedy podcast where two lifelong friends talk about life's troubles over a couple of beers.
Nice. It sounds very interesting.
Everyone should listen to it. And this one. But you're already listening.
But anyway, I think this was a filler item on their list because, like, I liked what they said. They said you're severely limiting yourself, not to mention being a bit of a snob.
I agree with that.
If you're only dating people with similar educational backgrounds. It says some of the most intelligent and successful people in the world were, quote unquote, college dropouts. Bill Gates, Steve Jobs, Mark Zuckerberg. However, they went to college.
Hold on, but those examples are terrible examples.
They are because they're like
they
one in a
studied
million.
independently and were like super. What's the word? They were just really good at what they did.
They were.
What's the thing where like you're
Savant.
like prodigy?
Prodigy.
They were prodigies in their field, and like those are terrible examples. But to the point,
Right.
yeah, I agree and disagree. I think, like I said before, it's a sliding scale. I don't think a doctor is going to be happy with like a jobless meth head.
They went from a part-time grocery store to a jobless mother.
Yeah, but they didn't get a job because they dropped out of high school.
And they took too many smoke breaks. They lost their job at the grocery store. I mean, and it also, I guess it's not a filler because it says it matters more about.
If Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg dropped out of like junior high and fought truancy officers and then became billionaires, sure, I'd be impressed.
Right.
But yeah, boy, that's quite a tangent.
It was.
Moving. Yeah.
Anyway, next, you can always depend on your partner for entertainment. Like, did they just? I don't.
No, I get that.
People think that.
Well, think of it. Some people. That's a way to put this diplomatically. Some people would almost, not like a child, but I think I've witnessed relationships where it's like one person is the host and the other person is like, one's the entertained and one's the entertainer.
Oh.
And it's not, it's, watch your foot. You almost kicked over your wine.
That would have been very sad.
And now that I think about it, one particular one that comes to mind, they're divorced.
Huh.
So that kind of proves that. I agree. I don't constantly.
I mean, I feel like the cruise director sometimes of our lives, but never like your
a lot of that's because you
dance monkey dance.
A lot of that's because you work from home too. I think you kind of fall into it, and you're good at it. So
Oh, thanks.
I'm organized. Let's put it this way. My thoughts are very organized, and I know what I have like when I'm at work and stuff, and I try to stay organized. But like sometimes you look at my desk and you wouldn't know it, but like I know what makes sense. Putting our lives together would probably be much the same way, and you are way more of an organized person than me, and so it's probably best that you take care of these things.
Logistically, sometimes it is a nightmare.
Yeah, well,
that's just the truth of the matter.
But like, what was it? You got to entertain the other person.
That's what it says. You can always depend on your partner for entertainment.
Yeah, it's funny. Is I picture like I'm bored. And poke you with a stick. Do something, and you're like. Put on a jester's hat and just be like, I
don't know.
Yeah,
like,
that one.
Oh, I see what they went for. It's just a weird way to say it.
Do they mean entertain like I'm doing a show? Or
it says you should have fun together, but they shouldn't be your sole source of excitement. A marriage and family therapist. Oh, that's who said this, a marriage and family therapist. It says many clients complain about this, and I tell them that their partner's job is not to be their entertainment. What you need is a partner who is game to do things when the urge to do something arises.
There, party time.
If you're bored, what are you going to do about it? There's no point in expecting your partner to provide excitement and entertainment all the time. And we actually touched on this last episode with our question from our listener who was bored to death in her marriage. And we're like, go do something about it. Why don't ya?
Yeah. Go see a movie by yourself.
Yeah. I mean, we do that occasionally.
I love doing that.
It's nice.
The beginning of the year is not good movies, though, so I'm like,
I was daydreaming about spending the night in the hotel by myself. I need to do that soon.
You're going to go watch 50 Shades Darker and have a little scented bubble bath afterwards?
No, I'm just going to watch bad TV on cable and eat a whole bunch of food and sleep.
Do you know what I always...
Without being interrupted until as late as I want to.
The last 2 times I can remember staying at a hotel and you have all that TV in front of you. One time I watched Friends, the other time I watched Seinfeld.
That's really funny because you could watch both of those at home.
Yeah, well, that's the one that made me go,
and you've seen them all.
I missed Seinfeld, so I started watching it on Hulu. I started from episode 1. I'm on like season 5 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good job.
So what's, okay. we agree with that. Next thing.
The next thing is a little racy. We do have the explicit thing on our podcast,
so we can say fuck, piss, bitch, pee-pee.
God damn it.
Wieners.
What else?
Sweat glands.
That's vagina. I mean, that's not really a curse word. Penis. I mean, those are just words, though.
I like wiener better. That's something when a grown-up says it, you're just like, what? Wiener.
So, number 6 is the sexual chemistry is off the charts. And I want to know what you think, like, honestly, about this one, because I'm just curious.
Does it say it's like required for a
Let me
good
give you
relationship? No. What? Read the title of the article again so I can give it context.
8 things that matter less than you think in a
Oh,
relationship.
okay. And read the headline of this particular.
The sexual chemistry is off the charts.
Now let me say, matters less than you think. Sure. Doesn't matter. Not at all.
Well, that's not the title of the article.
But if you were a happily married couple who had like the kids and everything, and whatever troubles, blah blah blah, and quit picking at it. You're gonna make noises on your.
Sorry
Sarah
for the noises.
She was picking at the mic stand. So say you are like a moderately happy marriage, ebbs and flows, but you're solid. But if you also have like a lights out sexual chemistry, not really a bad thing. It's not going to hurt anything.
That's really funny that you said ebbs and flows, because there should be mutual attraction and chemistry between the two of you. But the reality is sexual desire ebbs and flows through the years. You and your partner will be fine as long as you're both willing to be intentional about creating romance. So I think that one's right.
Every now and then we'll turn on HBO After Dark.
No, we don't.
And watch some Plumbers.
I don't even know what that is. We
don't.
didn't have
We
HBO.
watch good Catholic shows.
What?
The Young Pope. We'll get to that.
We will.
I was trying to do a funny segue, but it just...
No, we're not there yet.
Okay.
That was only number 6.
I mean, do you pretty much agree with it? I'm on the like...
I mean...
Yeah, let me say this. Even if you're like, well, it's
I
not
feel like
as
it's
important as we
something-
think.
I think it's something that if you wanted to change, you could.
Sure. Well, I guess I'm saying like... hang on, I had my thought, and then you trampled all over it. If you don't have it, and you're not working for it, that's a bad thing.
Right.
But if it's not lights out, but you're trying to make it better and you're trying to improve it, then that's okay. It falls under the confines of this article. However, if it's like not lights out and you're both not working for it, like, congratulations, one of you is going to be having an affair within the next couple of years. It's just the truth of it.
Maybe.
Always be working. Or they're like asexual but nice people.
It happens.
And they did it one time just to make that one kid.
Or they don't have any kids.
And they both like have those weird like 70s high bang haircuts.
They might not.
And they
could be completely normal looking.
Play Pokemon. But they're in their 40s. I wish you could see the dude has a mustache and those like square glasses. You know what I'm talking about? Like Jeffrey Dahmer glasses?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's the people I'm picturing.
They're just people.
It was funnier in my head. I'll give you that one. That wasn't very funny.
It's okay.
Crack myself up.
They all can't be home runs.
No, they cannot.
Okay, so...
I like to think of myself as a double.
The next one. You're both financially secure and on the path to making even more.
I think I read an article. So,
Sorry, this one makes me laugh because...
a former coworker of mine.
No one... I feel like... Can I just do my opening commentary on this one?
Sure.
I don't think hardly anyone is financially secure these days.
And even if you make a butt ton of money, like most people make a butt ton of money, so that makes them think... I should say, most people that make a butt ton of money go, oh, this means I can buy a bigger house and have a bigger mortgage. Mm-hmm. So everything relatively gets bigger, which encapsulates more of your relatively larger salary.
More money, more problems.
No, that's bullshit, though, because if we had more money but lived on this same budget, we'd have a way less
Well, that's
problems.
because we're smart, though. The status quo does exactly what you just said.
So
let's be real.
It, instead of more money, more problems, shouldn't it be more dumbasses, more problems? Like, don't be an idiot with your money.
Yeah.
I hate being part when a saying is for the lowest common denominator.
Yeah.
We are not that.
And neither are you, dear listeners.
As I have,
I'm ripping off Anna Faris whenever I say that.
That's why
FYI.
I've burped and farted in this episode, but
It's
whatever.
okay.
Not the
They
lowest.
would have
denominator.
never known you farted until you just said that.
It might have picked up. That'll be our contest. Did you guys find the hidden fart?
Oh my God.
Hey, we keep it real.
We do.
With both sides of the story.
Mm-hmm.
You married me. What's the next thing?
No, we were just glazing over the finance one. We don't care.
No, finances.
Right.
Yeah. I don't think anybody. Oh, the thing I was going to say. A former coworker of mine had a funny conversation where, like, when one of us is, like, absolutely financially independent, and not meaning as a marriage, like when our individual self makes enough money to exist by ourselves. And we did a calculation based on, like, how many kids I had at the time and, like, her projected life, and we came up with dollar amounts. And it was like when I made like $95,000 and she had to make like 72 or something like that. And we're like, okay, the first person to make it there has to buy the other one dinner. But that was think of that amount of money. Like that was, and like, don't get me wrong, like it's a lot of money that like I would love to make yearly, but like that was our scale for like, oh, that's when Easy Street happens.
Right.
And like people who make way more than that have the same amount of problems.
Exactly.
Yeah, your relationship, I mean, don't get me wrong, there are problems you won't have. Like you won't ever have to go like, man, you bought the cheap peanut butter. Like,
right.
Not that the cheap peanut butter is just fine. It's the first thing that popped in my head. Cheap cereal sometimes.
Sometimes it gets a little dicey.
But you know what I mean.
I mean, and I mean, they kind of go both like 50-50 on
There's certain problems
this.
that go away, but like...
Well, they say that like if you have similar spending habits, it will reduce anxiety about paying bills and generally make your household run smoother. I agree with that. But then it also says money matters, but accumulating wealth doesn't necessarily lead to a more fulfilling relationship. So they point out that like this counselor, I think she's a psychotherapist, says... It's Elizabeth J. Lamotte. She has a cool name, so I thought I'd give her a little shout out. She says, I notice a surprisingly common phenomenon with couples who work well together to generate financial security, but lose parts of themselves and compromise the relational bond along the way. She says she hears things like, we just finished renovating our dream house and are finally out of debt, but it feels like we have nothing to talk about. So it like becomes their life. And, like, when they're done doing it, they're like, well, now what? And that's what I think you get these people who, like, it becomes all they want to do. Which sometimes, I mean, if that's what you're happy doing, more power to you. But I wouldn't be happy doing that. And obviously, we're not so great at accumulating wealth.
No, we can spend it pretty well, though.
We're pretty good at that.
Well, we don't spend wealth. We just spend all of our extra money.
I just call it some money. Not really wealth.
No. Okay, next.
Okay, we could talk, this is a good one. Your friends and family think your significant other is amazing.
Now, that one...
I want to know what you think about this. I'm so self-centered sometimes. From your personal experience, honey.
I don't think I would have put that on the list because the family is very important. Does it say friends too? Mm-hmm. Oh, no. That means that here's what's going to happen. If your family and friends... Well, hold on. They said like is the best thing ever? Or are they saying like...
Yeah.
Well, that's a stretch. Nobody thinks that.
That's not true.
No, it's like if they're like... Oh, that's an okay person. Then that's all you can ask for.
Listeners, we've just deduced what all of Luke's friends and family's opinion of me was upon meeting me. Oh, she'll do.
No, I'm just saying, like, that's all you can hope for. I'm not. So let's assume that that's what they mean. Like, your friends and family like the person. Because, like, nobody's going to be head to toe over anyone that's dumb.
Well, that's what the, like, you should want them to like them.
Yes.
But they don't have to, like, be, like, fawning over them. That's
like a filler. That's like they just threw that in there. Because I think That never happens.
I think part of it's like what they have to say under these like this bulleted list is better than what the statements are, because it says we should be mindful of not put too much weight on what the peanut gallery thinks about our relationship. I agree with that.
Yeah.
Because I mean, if we want to be hypercritical of our own, everyone in the beginning was like, "Oh, Sarah, I don't know about this guy. He seems a little sketcy."
Yeah.
So, and I was like, "Nah, it's cool. We're just hanging out. Nothing serious."
Well, so to that end, I'm not talking about just like being head over heels. Oh, that person's the greatest person. You should marry them and have a million babies right this instant. I mean, like, if they don't like the person, that's bad. Because if your family and friends don't like your significant other, eventually you will have to alienate those family and friends who've been with you for so long.
Right.
And then you will begin to resent your significant other, and it's going to end badly.
Or it ends and then you pissed off your family and friends and you don't have any friends.
Or you become friends with your shitty significant other's shitty friends, and then you become shitty. And then you got to hang out with those shitty people, and everything's shitty.
Shit.
Yeah. So, I don't know, depending on what they were actually thinking when they wrote this.
Yeah, and I mean, it also says, in other words, if you genuinely have fun with your partner, don't spend too much time wondering, do all my friends think he's kind of dull? They're assuming women are reading this article, by the way.
You people are so superficial.
These internalized questions are often based to reflect our own worst fears and vulnerabilities, and asking them has the potential to cloud our judgment and pull us away from our partner. Who knows? Your friends and family may look upon your significant other much more favorably than you think. This is such a fluff
Maybe
piece.
they're like, they don't like the person because you're like, why'd you end up with him? He's a turd, and he's my son. You know what I mean?
You could do better.
Right? Is that the whole article?
Yeah, that was all 8. There was 8.
Well, that was fun. We invite you all to think about those things and use it to evaluate your relationship. And if it doesn't match up, then everything's gone to piss and you should just run.
I think it's like you can't put too much stock in like what they say and what the world has kind of ingrained into people of what's important about like being with someone, because it's really all that matters is if you're happy with them, they're happy with you, you're not doing meth together.
And hopefully
that's a bad
the
thing.
beatings are kept to a minimum.
There's no abuse going on, of course.
Minimum amount.
We should not joke about abuse.
What if it's sexy abuse?
Well, that's between
that came out wrong.
the sheets.
That came out wrong.
I think I knew what you were saying.
There's a difference between sexual abuse and sexy abuse. I want to make that the title of the episode, but I won't.
Sexy abuse?
Yeah,
we can't do that. I'm afraid iTunes will be like, no.
We'll be on a list. So yeah. Well, that was fun.
I thought it was. It just gave us something to chat about since no one asked us any questions. Shelby, send me a freaking question.
But if you had a question, you can send it to
Please?
he said, she said, pc@gmail.com. Or leave us a comment on
Facebook. You can message us.
/. What's our Facebook thing?
He Said, She Said podcast is our name.
Okay,
You can just
10-4.
search it. And you can message us on there. You can message us on Instagram. Follow us there. It's fun. I post pictures and
Or
whatnot.
send us a psychic message. Results
If you're
may vary.
local, you can text us.
Oh yeah, if you know us, you
If
can
you
text
know
us.
us. You could stop
It's more
by.
fun to get an email because we're like, oh my
Yeah.
god, we were so excited when we got questions last time, and now we're like, nah.
Yeah. You could just come see us too. No one ever comes and sees us anymore.
Yeah, we'll just sit
Well,
around and be like, the baby's asleep. Will you drink with us?
We're so happy. Listen to us. No, we're
Life's
good.
a barrel full of monkeys.
It really is. It's crazy times after
Right.
bedtime, man.
So we hope you enjoyed that. So we like to end every episode with, what TV show are we currently binging on?
Right. I forgot about that.
Not necessarily a binge, but we started a new show that we're happy to share with everyone because we're still kind of on the fence about it, but we're not going to stop watching it because we're like, it's weird.
It's very weird.
it also helps that we both grew up Catholic.
Right.
So we are watching The Young Pope on HBO, starring Jude Law playing an American.
And it's the weirdest accent. It almost sounds like President Obama. I'm not going to lie.
His
in a good way.
inflection is, but he's trying to do like a Boston accent, but
Like
he
a
still does
slight.
like, I say a short amount of things, and then he pauses. And then here's the thing. Like, it's not the accent, it's the like...
The delivery, the cadence.
Like,
yeah. Right.
But like, he's good in it. He's really good.
It's freaky.
I don't think I've ever seen Jude Law do an American accent, so it's a lot of fun. And like, I didn't know what to make of the show. Even now, I don't, because it kind of keeps you guessing.
Yeah, it's kind of like miniature movies every episode.
You almost feel like titillatingly uncomfortable when you're watching it.
Like, you keep waiting for him to have sex with someone is what I'm waiting for. I'm just going to put it out there.
I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm still like, I think it's going to happen.
It's like, yeah, like there's this marketing lady and she like straight up just tells him how attractive he is because...
But then there's like the nun who raised him and you're like, you never know.
Diane Keaton.
Yeah. Not Annette Bening, as Sarah first thought, even though she had Diane Keaton in her head because she said pantsuits. Annette Bening. And I'm like, oh, really? Anyway.
I was half asleep.
So if you guys need a new show to watch, The Young Pope on HBO.
Yeah, it's a good one.
Very interesting.
If you also grew up Catholic like me and have always had a little
And
tiny...
me.
Well, not the rest of the sentence.
You've
just
also had
me.
a little tiny Pope.
A little tiny crush on Jude Law my whole life. It's very like confusing for me to watch it because I'm like, oh, he's so hot still, but he's the Pope, and I don't subscribe to.
You don't want none of you.
I don't subscribe to Catholicism anymore, but when you spend the first half of your life like being Catholic, it's confusing to see the show and watch him, but it's a good show. Check it out. And if you're not Catholic and don't know anything about it, it'll be really good because you'll be like, what the fuck?
Yeah, we were actually watching it talking about, like, it's so normal to us because we grew up in it. But we're like, if somebody wasn't Catholic and they watched this, they'd probably go like, is this real? Do they really do that? Do they wear those clothes and those funny red shoes and the little beanie hats with the little pointy thing? And
They do.
Yes, they do. It's just part of it. And we're just like, yeah, whatever. It's a fucking hat. What are you going to do? Hides the bunny ears. It's a South Park joke. Anyway.
Yeah.
It was just a funny observation. But yes, good show. The Young Pope, HBO. So I think that about wraps up everything we had to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't have too much of a weekly advice theme, but I just wanted to make our own because we talked about it a lot earlier. Just the reminder to be present for you.
And be accountable. We
Yes,
said that earlier, so I
we
think we
did.
should be
Yes.
present, be accountable.
Yeah. For not only your partner, but yourself, because you get so caught up in life that if you have to slow down sometimes to
What's the quote from Ferris Bueller?
live your life. I don't know.
I wish I could
Something
remember.
about life.
No. Can you vamp for a minute?
What's that mean? I don't know what that means. So what's this quote?
Okay, we paused for just a second because I had to look up this quote.
Well, also because I didn't know what he was talking about.
And
so
then I
knew
said
what-
vamp, and she's like, what's vamp mean?
I don't know what it means.
I don't know what it means. Archie! Oh, Sarah, yeah. That's my Archie. Anyway, so I told her to vamp, and she didn't, so we paused it. But she was talking and stuff, and then I was like, I want to do this Ferris Bueller quote with the little drums and shit in the background.
You're going to add the drums and post.
It's not the O part. Anyway, life moves pretty fast. If you don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, Ferris Bueller has a thing or two to say about life. And then he killed that kid in a drunk driving accident.
It was very unfortunate.
Then he married Sarah Jessica Parker.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Okay.
Good stuff.
Nice way to end
All right.
things.
That's a good way to end. I thought of our sign up. Off. Not up. Off. I thought of our
How
sign
many
off.
beers did you have?
2, dummy.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Why did I call you dummy?
I don't know, but it's not very nice.
I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you for listening to He Said, She Said podcast, a relationship podcast.
You're doing a great job at the sign off.
Go fuck yourself, all right? If you have a question, you can email us at hesaidshesaiidpc@gmail.com. Our Instagram is
He Said, She Said PC.
and our Facebook is
He Said, She Said podcast.
So we hope you both. God damn it.
Just
I
start.
can't talk. We hope you enjoyed hearing both sides of the story.
Nice.
Boom.
That's very good.
Thank you.
Good night, everyone.
No, I already signed off. We're done.
But I wanted to say bye. Bye.